Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Hangar Control showcase, and we're going to be continuing on with the touch panel. In the previous couple of videos, as I have shown you guys the new avionics, new autopilot options, new slider options, and in the last video the new targeting configuration. However, that targeting configuration has had yet another advancement that I want to show you guys today. I'm going to show you guys how to control any axis, any encoder or autopilot setting or comm setting from any mobile device, any PC. Super simple, super fast. Stick around. One app designed to do it all. Hangar Control brings everything together: control bindings, hardware configuration, mod and profile management, application launching, add-ons, config files, and more, all managed from a single application. Mods Hangar goes beyond just mods and add-ons. It manages profiles, config files, text files, backups, snapshots, and helps keep your community folders clean and organized. Application Hangar launches your entire sim stack with a single click. Your Stream Decks are fully controlled through the Hangar Control plugin, while all of your other Stream Deck plugins remain active and available. Built by a simmer for simmers, Hangar Control adds new features and hardware support every week based on community feedback. It's a one-time purchase with lifetime updates, no subscriptions. You can try it for free for 5 days with no restrictions at overkillsimulations.com. Just create an account, head to your account page, download the latest version, and get started. And if you're looking for in-depth Microsoft Flight Simulator aircraft tutorials, check out my Patreon site. Links to Hangar Control and Patreon are down in the description below. Okay, so as always, guys, if you guys are interested in trying Hangar Control, it does come with a 5-day free trial if you want to give it a shot. Overkillsimulations.com. You must create that account first. Please, folks, do that. You must create your account first, whether you are wanting the trial or whether you're wanting to just buy it outright. You have to create the account first, then make sure you're logged into the website, then make sure you hit that red account button or go to the Buy Hangar Control. But you have to be logged in first, otherwise you will get an error when you try to. Okay, so like I said, in the last couple of videos, one of the things that we did is that we have done G1000 overlays, we've done bezels and all kinds of really cool stuff. Today we're going to keep this one super simple, so it's going to be relatively quick, but I'm going to show you guys a really neat way to do this. Now, what you guys are going to be seeing here is you're going to be seeing me using the mouse, as it's just the easiest to record it, okay, because of the nature of the way that the software runs. OBS doesn't like its pop-out windows very much. However, the idea behind this is that anything you see the mouse do, you will be able to do with your finger on a touch screen, whether that be a Chromebook, whether it be a touch screen that's locally connected to your PC, whether it be your phone, an iPad, a Kindle, anything that is on your same Wi-Fi network with the firewall ports open that are necessary, you'll be able to handle. Okay, so just remember that anything you see the mouse do, your finger will be able to do, or a stylus or whatever you're using. So let's get after it. So we're going to go into the touch panel here. You guys, this is sort of what we created. I'm going to blow all of this out here. We're just going to come in here and we're going to start with a clean slate. So this is my test bed, if you guys can't tell. And we're just going to ditch all of this stuff. We're going to assume that we have none of this. Okay, this is the glass out configuration, which, by the way, if you guys haven't tried glass out, it's a fantastic application. Highly recommend that, especially with Hangar Control. They are very good friends. Glass out and Hangar Control are really good buddies. The integration, I could not have asked for more. It worked out phenomenally. So we're going to blow this up like this and let us begin. So we are going to start right out of the gate with adding a slider. This is what we're going to be using to control everything that we do. Okay, now with the slider, you can put it where you want, middle screen, top screen, whatever. Think about the layout of your devices, right? Whether it be something like a, like I said, your cell phone or your Kindle, where are you going to want that slider to be? Okay, now the beautiful thing is one slider is going to do it all. Okay, so we're just going to create a slider. I'm going to keep it very simple. You do have other options over here that you guys can play with when it comes to the slider. If you open up the configuration for the slider, we can have a bit more refinement here. So I'm going to leave the labeling and everything on, but you can turn that off. You're going to ignore all of this stuff down below. Anything with the appearance is what you want, though. You want to be able to play around with the appearance, right? And you also want to pay attention to pixels per step. This is how many pixels will your finger cross for a step. So the lower this number, the faster the input's going to be. Obviously, the higher, the slower. And then finally, the orientation. Do you want it to drag left and right, or is this actually one that you want maybe on the side of your device and you want to move your finger up and down? If you want it vertical, make sure you set it to vertical, right? This one up here, this is the visibility, okay? Do you want just a zone? Okay, and I'll show you guys here what that looks like. Let's pop the window open. Where are you? Oh, I gotta save that first. I'm sorry. Let's do that first so you guys can see this. So there. Do you want something like this? I'm gonna sort of... We're going to have to bounce back and forth here for a minute. Come on, open up, double click. Do we want slider and track handle? Okay, in which case you're going to get that handle there. Or do you want literally nothing at all? Okay, and this is usually what I do. Now for the demo of this video, I'm going to make sure that we have a visual reference. So we're going to come back up and we're going to have at least the zone. And I'm going to leave everything else as default. Okay, and that's it. That's all we are doing. You set the orientation, you set the size, set the position you want it on the particular display, browser, whatever, and that's it. That's all we need to do for this part. Then the next thing that we're going to do, and you can either create a new layer if you want, if you just don't want to have to worry about, you know, configurations and stepping on each other. But in our case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a target zone. So here's our zone, and this is where you can have some fun with it. Now this is, eventually I'm going to make it so that way you will be able to add icons and things like that to these. But for right now, we just have the plain zones. You have the option of a circle or a rectangle. You can obviously name it. So I'm gonna tell you right now what we're gonna do with this one is just title it, oh, holy caps. Caps lock, Mike. Heading bug. Okay. And move that on down. Boom, we get that there. And you can see it's number 0 there. And if you needed to, you can rotate them, you know, things like that. Little stuff, nothing too crazy. Now, here's the part. When not engaged, okay, so right now, that's engaged. That is disengaged, okay? So, when not engaged, what do you want to see? Do you want the highlight? Do you want just a border? Do you want nothing for a border? Now, right now, it is using hex codes for your coloring. Eventually, I will add a color wheel where you can just pop it up and pick the color. If you ever have trouble, Google Gemini, any Google, really. You can just Google, what's a hex color for various shades of purple, right? And you'll get a whole bunch of them, okay? Just make sure that you always do have the pound sign, hashtag, whatever the hell you want to call it. I'm old school. I still call it a pound sign. Hate me if you want. And then engaged, what do you want? This is when the zone is actually selected. So again, if you didn't want anything at all, maybe you just wanted the label, I don't know. But for us, when engaged, I'm going to leave that as is. I want the whole shebang. Okay, now here's the part. We're going to add action. Direction press doesn't really matter in this particular sense. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to go to command. We want it to be a SimConnect command. And I'm going to do heading bug. We're going to do heading bug increase. Okay. And then under add action, we're going to do command SimConnect heading bug decrease. Now, there was one other thing that we needed to do with the slider, and I'm sorry. Drive the engaged target zone. That's it. That's all you got to do. Nothing else. Okay? And I am going to take that label off, though. Just do that. There we go. So now, let's check this out. So I'm going to get that out of the way. Come here. So you guys can see what we've got going on. Okay? Let me change that window size a bit. Let's zoom in on our heading bug, just so you guys can see it. Let's get rid of the control locks. Not like it impacts this, but here. So notice where our heading bug is right now. So when I drag my mouse, nothing happens, right? When I engage the target zone, there we go. Disengage the target zone, nothing again. So let's add another one, right? Just to show you guys how cool this is. Did I close my configuration window? I did, didn't I? Why did I do that? What a dork. Anyway, so now, let's come back in here. Blow that back up for you guys. And we're just going to duplicate this. Move this right over here. We're going to change our title here, and let's just, let's do the Kollsman. Yeah, let's just call it Kollsman. That'll work fine. Okay. And again, it maintained all the previous settings, so all we need to do is change these. And we're going to change this to Kollsman, if I can type right. Kollsman increase. Kollsman decrease. And voila. Okay, we're going to save that. And if you guys haven't checked out my previous video, make sure that you guys check that out because it walks through everything else as far as setting the input actions. Because the other thing that we can do is you can actually assign an encoder or a button anywhere in your profile, whether it be the encoder on a Bravo throttle quadrant, a button on your AB9 or AB6 or on your Alpha flight yoke. You can assign anything and it will. And the cool thing is, like for example, let's say you have a button or two buttons that you're using on your flight stick. Okay. The only time that these will take effect is if the target zone is engaged. If you have those buttons bound to something different that you use normally, you can leave them there. And when you engage the target zone will take priority. And so it will do whatever these commands are. But as soon as you disengage the target zone, your two buttons will go back, or encoder, whatever it is, will go back to doing what it was doing before. So really, really am proud of this if I do say so myself. Anyway, so... oh, there's our Kollsman right there. Hey, how isn't that handy? So once again, heading bug. You guys can see it moving down there in the bottom. Okay. Now, it takes the last known device. So disengage that. If you have multiple selected, it will take the most recently selected target zone. That's the other cool thing. I made sure to have sort of a fallback. So you tap that. There's our Kollsman. Tap this one. There's our heading bug. Turn them both off. Absolutely nothing happens. So super, super simple way to configure just about anything. And again, remember this mouse is your finger. This is all you're going to be doing on your touch screen. Is you're just simply going to be taking your finger and dragging it back and forth after you've selected your desired zone, and you're off and running to the races. So this will likely be out tomorrow night, being Friday the 19th. So I hope you guys are excited for that. It should be coming around the corner. Hopefully by the time that you guys are watching this, it's out. But if not, it will be out Friday or Saturday at the very latest, depending on testing. So I hope you guys are looking forward to this. Thank you guys for all the continued support. Do not forget overkillsimulations.com to try it out. I still would recommend, if you're going to be using this touch panel, please look into Glass Out from Flying Art. Wonderful application and works really, really well with Hangar Control, all things considered. They're both in development, so there might be a couple quirks here and there, but for all in all, it's pretty damn solid now. Really, really happy with that integration, and Flying Art did an amazing job with his development as well. So they really complement each other super, super well, guys. You can have your PFD on your iPad. You can have your GNS 530 on your cell phone. I mean, all kinds of neat stuff. Anyway, digress. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful day, and I will catch you guys in the next one.